Hello and welcome back to Auto Social UK. So if you haven't already guessed by the title, which I'm sure you have because that's the reason everybody's here, is I bought a new car, which I am so excited to share with you. So I just want to start by giving a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of a thanks as well to everybody that has so far followed the channel and subscribed to the channel. So at the beginning of this year, I set myself some goals. Those goals included to start working with brands directly, which I now do. Of course, you've seen that since the beginning of the year. Got that one in really nice and early. I would like to hit 10,000 subscribers and 1 million views, which haven't yet done, but I am en route to do that towards the end of the year, which is going to be absolutely brilliant. I also wanted to upgrade the trusty old daily, the Up, which I still plan to do later on in the year, but the car that I want, again, I'm going to leave as a surprise, is not yet available, so I'm just kind of waiting to hear an update on that. If that car doesn't pull through, then I'll start looking at other options to upgrade the Up, which is going to be a car that I have on PCP. Anyway, the new car. So the new car is a weekend car, a little bit of a project. I'm not going to take on too much of a project because, of course, I don't know a huge amount about restoring cars or things like that. This is a dream car of mine, a car that I've wanted to own for a long time, something that's very nostalgic to me. So if you want to see what it is, then please keep watching. And of course, if you do want to subscribe to the channel, please do it because I really appreciate it. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And yeah, so here's my new car. My 2001 Lupo GTI. Now, I've wanted one of these cars for so long. As a few of you know, I did actually have a Lupo as my first car, so it's always kind of been a bucket list thing for me to own a GTI. Now, I've been on the lookout for the right one for a while. I've been keeping an eye on Auto Trader and eBay and different things like that. I wanted one with a good amount of mileage, low owners, and preferably I wanted one that was completely standard. Well, this car is exactly that. So it's got 94,000 miles on the clock and it's only got 2 owners. Now this is where the best bit is. The first owner was Volkswagen for 6 months, and then it's had the same lady owner for the past 19 years and 6 months. So this was just an absolute diamond. It's a little bit rough around the edges, which I'll quickly show you in a minute. There's a few things that need doing to it. It's not completely pristine, but it is completely standard, apart from the stereo that's been fitted in the inside. But other than that, it's never been lowered, it's never had any adaptions. And yeah, let's take a closer look. Okay, so going around the exterior of the car, you can see for 20 years old, this car looks pretty damn good. I mean, it's still got the original manufacturer's plates on it. I am looking to get a personalised number plate, so hopefully we'll be looking to change that. But as you can see, in terms of paintwork, there is some sort of chips in the bonnet, which of course is completely expected for the age of the vehicle. I will be looking to get those done eventually, but I mean, in terms of what condition it's in fantastic condition, so I'm not in any hurry to get those little bits done. There is tiny weeny spots of rust, which is completely expected. There's a couple of marks on the roof, and you've just got a little bit of bubbling in the paintwork just along the top where the water sits in these residues along here, and it does tend to rust a little bit, but I mean, it really is another little mark there. But in terms of what rust there is, it's really minimal for the age. Yeah, paintwork is in really good condition, exhaust in great condition. Again, the plates are probably the only thing making it look a little bit rough, but we'll be looking to change those. The wheels are the original GTI alloy wheels. Oh, as you can see, it's a little bit rough around these corners and here as well, that's poking out. So I'll be looking to, obviously, you can see it's come out of its clips there, so I'll be looking to get some clips to kind of fit that back in. But yeah, it's on the original GTI wheels. The centre caps have started to sort of corrode a little bit, so I will be looking to replace those. There is a tiny bit of damage, a couple of dinks in the door there on this rear quarter, but again, really nothing scary. Also, previous owner's gone through some paint at some point, so there's a bit of like a paint splat up the rear arch, but it really isn't anything that I'm particularly worried about. So one thing that's really common on the Lupo GTIs, or Lupos in general, is the doors are clunky. So exactly, that kind of reminisces me back to my first car. My first car did the exact same thing. So that obviously just needs to be tightened there. I mean, sometimes you have to replace this part, but I don't think I'm going to need to replace it. I'm going to obviously try and have it just tightened up first of all. So let's open her up. Engine is pretty clean. So this car is actually due a cam belt, a water pump, and also a full service as well. So what I actually did is I got that discount off of the dealer, and I'm going to do that all myself. Or when I say myself, I'm going to take it to a Volkswagen specialist. There's a few little things like this is a little bit loose, that needs a clip in there to make sure that that's nice and secure. It's missing its GTI cover, so that's definitely something I want to get hold of. If anyone knows where I can get that from, that would be brilliant. We was a little bit concerned when I bought the car because there was quite a lot of pressure in here, but of course you can see it has been overfilled, so a little bit of pressure is to be expected. Have checked obviously in the oil, there's no kind of residue in that, so nothing to worry about. It did come all the way from London when I had it delivered, so it has had a good run. So if there was anything scary from like a long journey, then we probably would have noticed it when it arrived. But of course, I'm not gonna lie, I don't fully know what I'm looking at. So this is gonna go into a Volkswagen specialist and they're gonna check it all over. So yes, that is also another thing. Greatly demonstrated there. So what has actually happened is this car does have xenons and it has got the headlight washers, but the previous owner had actually, I've pulled a lot of it off, but the previous owner had actually super glued these in. I assume the headlight washers stopped working and they decided to just glue those in, so they stopped falling out, which they have just done there. But again, not particularly worried about that. That's something that I can sort out at a later date. Coming onto the interior of the car, I mean, look, it looks a little bit rough around the edges, but what do you expect from a car that's 20 years old? It has got the original red GTI seat belts, all the original interior. With the steering wheel has lost its colour, so this was actually, I don't know if you can see, this was actually red stitched. So I would like to get this red stitched, and also the GTI on the gear selector has also started to wear down as well. So I'm just going to put this in here. So it would be nice to get that replaced. The head unit has been upgraded to a JVC so that you can connect via USB, which is quite nice. This is something that I didn't have in my standard Lupo when I was growing up. So I have actually got a couple of cup holders, which is pretty handy. What else is there to report? That is pretty much it for the interior. The car has a pretty good service history. It's a little bit, it wasn't really serviced in the first few years of ownership, and then it's a little bit hit or miss in the service book, but I have got quite a wad of paperwork of services that the car's had done. So it's been looked after, but it's only really done, so it's done 93,000 miles now, and it's only really done sort of 10,000 in the last 3 years. So it's only really had one service in that time, but that's nothing to too worry about. Another really lovely thing is it came with the original brochure from the showroom, which I just absolutely love. So we'll have a quick look through this. So this is the car that I had as my first car, the Lupo S, and I actually had it. This is so cool. I never really saw this interior, but I absolutely love it. But this is the colour that I had my original Lupo in. And then obviously all of the details about the Sport, and then there she is. That's the Lupo GTI, which I actually love the red. I'm not so sure I would have picked black. I'm not a particularly massive fan of black cars. I love the blue because that reminds me of my first car, and I love the red, and then yeah, you've got the black and the silver, so of course I'm not going to complain. But I do know as well that that's kind of red in these pictures and it's worn down to white on this one, so it'd be nice to get that all up to its former glory. But what a lovely thing to have. Like, I'm really pleased this came with this, and it's in such good condition, so that's definitely something nice that I can keep with the car. Very quickly to go over specification, but I am going to cover a lot more about this car, the journey of this car, but just to quickly say that this was the early model, so this actually has the 5-speed gearbox instead of the 6-speed gearbox, and it doesn't come with aircon, which, do you really care on a car that's 20 years old? Probably not, especially not in this country. With the gearbox as well, I just want to note now, when I test drove this car, it was struggling with third gear. It was kind of like grinding a little bit to get into third. So when I take it to have its inspection at John Austin's in Colchester, I'm going to get them to look at that. He's going to inspect it to see if it's the pedal box. And then if it's not the pedal box, then we'll look at what else it could be from there. But I'm going to take you on that journey. I'm going to vlog kind of finding out about this car. Obviously, I'm not going to get stuck in any work with it, because this is a classic and I am not an expert, and I would much rather pay somebody to do it properly and do a proper job than fumble through some of it on my own. If there's any tiny little jobs that I can do on this car, then of course I will do them by myself, but most of the time I'm going to leave it to the experts, because fingers crossed this car should now not lose any value. That is the dream, at least, and I want it to be something I'm going to keep. So the plan is to keep it completely standard. I don't think I mentioned that yet. So unfortunately for all of you watching thinking, oh my god, put it on bags, do this, do that, no, it's going to be completely standard. She's just going to be shined up to her former glory, and hopefully I'm going to be able to take her to a few shows this year. But there we have it. I'm now the proud owner of a Lupo GTI, and I couldn't be happier. This is something that's been on my bucket list for a long time, and I'm really glad that I've been able to tick it off. Just want to again say thank you to everybody that supports the channel. I couldn't have done it without you. This isn't something I would have purchased if I didn't have a YouTube journey, so I'm really proud to say that this journey on YouTube has helped me to buy one of my dream cars. Let's hope it's going to be the first of many. If you want to see more Lupo content, then please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do new car reviews as well, so if that's your thing, then make sure you hit subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, go and give it a big like, just for the look at that face. How can you not like this video? Look, it's so cute. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.